Hello there. It's good to see a friendly face. I almost took you for a raider, I did. Name's Malcolm. Malcolm Holmes. Don't suppose you'd care to trade. I'm missing a few essentials and... screw this. Lying just ain't in my nature. I'll tell it to you straight. I've been following you for a good bit now. It started off innocently enough. I was traveling, as I often do, and happened to observe you picking up one of those blue star caps. You didn't show any reaction to it, so I figured you didn't know what you'd gotten your hands on. There's an old wasteland legend that says somewhere out there is a fabulous treasure from before the war. Those caps with the blue star on them, the tale goes, are the key to that treasure. They're called sunset sarsaparilla stars. Nah, I gave it up years ago. Too dangerous. And even if I did still collect them, I'd tell you the same. There's people out there so mad with the idea of treasure that they'll attack strangers just on the suspicion that they have some of those caps. No one knows. Money, weapons, water. It is, or maybe was, something of value, and that's enough to get people motivated. All over the place. The easiest place to find them is unopened bottles of sunset sarsaparilla. You'd think they'd all have been picked clean by now, but somehow, new bottles keep appearing in the machines. Some say it's old Festus that does it, hoping someone will finally collect enough caps to earn the treasure. Other than bottles, you'll just have to scavenge. You can find caps in the unlikeliest of places, and blue star caps are no exception. It's said that the treasure is guarded by a man named Festus, and he's the one who asked for the blue star caps. It's also said he's been around since the war, standing a lonely vigil, waiting for someone to come and take the treasure off his hands. That'll make him pretty damn old, but I've met a few people in my travels who claim they actually met him, and they weren't the lying type either. No problem. If you do end up trying to collect more stars, watch out for a man named Alan Marks. He's killed several people for their stars already.
Oh my God. You're alive. After all these years, you haven't aged a day. You don't remember me? Oh, you're the body Victor pulled out of that grave. They must have shot you and buried you alive. That's not so surprising. You've always had a bad habit of getting caught by the bad guys and thrown into the dirt. Don't you remember anything? Your name, your life before the grave? Not even me? We were, 20 years ago, before you disappeared. I was your friend. We grew up together in Vault 18. We never really talked much as kids, not before the night Colonel Bragg betrayed us and destroyed our home. After that, we traveled for a while before you got sucked into the war between the NCR and the Raiders of San Bernardino. The last I remember seeing you, you were leaving Fort Dagger Point, covered head to toe in blood and ashes. A lot of people died that day. A lot of people. I think something died in you too. You left. We never saw you again. And you don't remember any of it? You were never officially part of the NCR, not from what I heard. General Silverman hired you as a private contractor and blackmailed us into doing his dirty work. This is back before the NCR kicked into overdrive and their military began conquering the Mojave. Back then, Silverman's hands were tied, fighting the last of the Enclave and the Raiders. He needed someone outside the law. I guess he figured a bunch of Vault dwellers was his ticket to do what he wanted without Congress stepping in to stop him. After that, I don't know what happened to you. We've heard rumors. Stories about an unkillable courier. We heard you did some pretty bad things while trying to do good. I guess you'll never know, unless you can remember. A war? The NCR doesn't call it that. They call it a police action. But it was a war, plain and simple. The Raiders of San Bernardino were a major threat, and the NCR's hands were tied in dealing with them by the New Reno mob. The corrupt NCR Congress couldn't fight them, and the mob used the Raiders to raise money from slave labor mining gold and uranium. But that didn't last. When Colonel Bragg of the Enclave destroyed our home, the Raider tribes betrayed them. They used the vertibirds and weapons of the Enclave against the NCR and triggered an unwinnable war. The Enclave had been using Fort Dagger Point to experiment on super mutants, trying to create a perfect guerrilla army. They took your parents. They turned them into breeding stock and used them to create you. You were a mutant, or from what I'm told, you had a mutant organ inside you that heals your injuries and cleans your blood of radiation. But that's when you came into your own. With Vault 18 destroyed, I guess the stress triggered your body to start reacting. You became unstoppable, like a human tank. You led an army through the fort and killed Bragg and his troops. The NCR changed after that. So did the Raiders. They left California and were forced to join the Legion, which made them unstoppable. They turned on the NCR, and now we're here. I'm Jen Hale. I was a Wasteland Scout. So was my dad. Yeah, sort of. I settled here after the war. It was a ghost town back then. Some Vault dwellers from Vault 11 and a handful of settlers. We had to come here after Hopeville was destroyed, and there was nowhere else to go. No, I'm alone now. My husband died a few years ago fighting the Legion. I never fell in love again. After Vault 18, what was the point? Who'd want to be with me anyway? Everyone in the wasteland has problems. But some nights, I just wake up screaming. I dream of the Vault. I remember it collapsing. It killed my mom, my brother and sister, everyone I ever knew. I think of them trapped down there, burning, crying. I can't forgive the world for what it did to me, what it did to us. I never wanted to bring anyone else into this, so I quit trying. Yeah, thanks. But I'm sure you have troubles of your own. We should get you something to eat, and a place to rest. There was a time when that mutant organ inside you would have healed you. Not even a bullet to the head could put you down. Something must have broke when they shot you. Maybe it'll kick in after it has time to cool off from bringing you back from the dead. That's how it worked with Bragg anyway. Yours may be different. Ha! That's a long story. You could write volumes on them. Vault 18 had a program for years where they sent teams into the wasteland to explore. They got into a lot of misadventures, needless to say. Then it was our turn. But we lost the vault before we were fully trained. After Fort Dagger Point, we were scattered. We had a lot of friends. Not all of them made it. Kurtz, Janie, Eric, Johnny, Kira. None of us are quite the same. He was a tribal kid that came to live with us in Vault 18. Dr. Osman found him in the wasteland after his tribe drugged him. The drug erased his memory, kind of like you and the bullet, I guess. He found his memory through comic books. Maybe you two can talk, Get some kind of amnesiac self-help group started. I've been trying to find a way to get Kurtz out of a Legion prison camp nearby Cottonwood Cove for 2 days. I could use the help of a badass mailman to bust him out. Let me add his location to your Pip-Boy. She was a mutant, like you. One of the defective ones, I guess. She fought her way to freedom and never got over it. To be honest, I've always thought of Kira as kind of a bitch. We had a really shitty relationship. I've heard rumors that she found herself a job in the Silver Rush, selling plasma rifles for the Van Graffs. They say she's a killer mercenary, with some killer debts. You can try to find her there if you want. I say she's better off alone, where she can't hurt anybody I love. They were the gross couple in love, fighting bad guys together while being painfully romantic. It got them in a lot of trouble and caused some strife, but nothing too terrible. After the battle at Fort Dagger Point, we traveled for a while until we settled in Hopeville together. We left that place despite how nice it was. We had a job to do in the town, and that job ended the day before it exploded. Jamie and Eric live up north near New Vegas now. I visit them every so often. Yeah, but let's talk about the here and now. What happened to you? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. But if you want me to help you find them, I'll come with you. If you don't mind the company. Well, you always did need some help in that department. Come on, let's get going. Just like old times.
I'm glad you're on our side.
Okay. Take anything I have.
You're listening to Three Dogs. Oh! Wow,
How are you?
wow, on Galaxy News Radio. The
Ooh, I hope it's something to eat. Okay. Take anything I have.
How are you?
Cheyenne, stay. Don't worry, she won't bite unless I tell her to. Yeah, I guess there's a thing or two I could show you. Sounds like you need all the help you can get after what they done to you. Meet me outside, behind the saloon. Now, see the sarsaparilla bottles on the fence there? Take this and try to hit a couple of them. That's the right idea. Look down the sight. Try crouching down instead. Nice shot. Well, that's a start. But I don't reckon you came to me to learn to fight sarsaparilla bottles. Tell you what. I gotta go chase geckos away from our water supply anyway. Darn critters are attracted to it. Why don't you come along? Follow me. It's just down to the southeast a short ways. See? You're getting the hang of it. There's 2 more wells that still need clearing. You want, you can come along. It'd be worth a few caps to me. Shouldn't take more than a couple minutes, especially with 2 of us. Come with me. Teach you to mess with me. Holy moly. If you hadn't come here like you done, I'd be a goner for sure. I came up here to draw water, but here, you should have what I got. You look thirsty. Now that was some good work. Even got a little exciting there at the end. Here's a little spending money for the trouble. One more thing I wanted to show you. Thought I might teach you about living off the land and making useful things for yourself. Interested? Okay, say no more. I'm heading back now. Hope I didn't miss anything good on the jukebox. Cheyenne would never forgive me. Hey, do me a favor. Trudy, she's the bartender up at the Prospector. Kind of the town mom. She likes to meet newcomers. She'd be cross with me if I didn't ask you to poke your head in and say hi.
Hey there. Later.
Okay. Take anything I have. Yeah? Listen, that time when I shot my uncle in the leg, it was an accident. I'll see what I can do. Show me. Ready to lose? You're gonna get beat by a girl.
done being nice. If you don't hand Ringo over soon, I'm going to get my friends and we're burning this town to the ground. Got it?
We'll keep that in mind. Now, if you're not gonna buy something, get out. Well, you've been causing quite a stir. Glad I finally got to meet you. Welcome to the Prospector Saloon. Looks like our little town got itself dragged into the middle of something we don't want anything to do with. About a week ago, this traitor, Ringo, comes into town. Survivor of an attack, he says. Bad men after him. Needs a place to hide. We figured he was just in shock, so we gave him a place to lie low. We didn't actually expect anyone to come after him. Cobb hasn't exactly been looking for Ringo too hard. I think he's afraid that Ringo will ambush him, which is probably true. He's holed up at the abandoned gas station up the hill. You mean murder him? That's not our way, even if Cobb is scum. He can bluster and threaten all he wants. Some of the others, like Sonny, will probably stand up for Ringo if he asks for help, which he hasn't. Personally, I hope he sneaks out of town one night and takes the powder gangers with him. Chain gangs, really. The NCR brought them in from California to work on the rail lines. Problem is, it turns out that giving convicts a bunch of dynamite and blasting powder isn't the best idea. It was a big escape not too long ago. Some of them stuck together so they could make trouble. That's what we're dealing with now. All right. Not much, other than they're a bunch of freeloaders who expected a few rounds on the house. I was able to get them to pay up, though. Of course, one of the great cons did knock my radio to the floor, by accident, and it hasn't been working since. They were having some kind of argument about it, but the guy in the checkered coat kept shushing them. Sounded like they came in from the north through Quarry Junction. If that's the case, I can't say I blame them for not wanting to go back. That whole area is overrun with the kind of critters that just get mad if you shoot them. Merchants avoid that whole stretch of I-15 like it's radioactive, which it could be for all I know. I didn't hear exactly, but the leader was talking about the strip. Fellow wants to get there and avoid the 15, he'd have to go east. Take Highway 93 up. Sure, the outside looks okay, but I think something broke on the inside. There'd be caps in it for you. I do like to hear what's going on in the world, and that Mr. New Vegas seems like such a gentleman. Be careful out there.
This is Radio New Vegas, and I'm your host,
Feeling
Mr.
thirsty?
New Vegas.
I can take
And
care of
in
that.
case you're wondering if you've come to the right place, you have.
Yeah, I heard it turn
Whoops,
right back on
I
after you
put
got
on
done
my
tinkering with
newsman
it.
fedora
Here's some
here.
caps for the work.
Scavengers report hulking individuals moving around
You're welcome.
Hidden Valley
So
after
can I get
dusk,
you anything?
but have been unable to identify them due
Be
to
careful out
low
there.
visibility. Those are our stories for this hour. This is Mr. New Vegas signing off.
That's close enough. Who are you, and what do you want with me? Sorry about the gun. You just caught me off guard, that's all. We got off to a bad start. What say we start over with a friendly game of Caravan? You know how to play? Yeah. He doesn't look very tough, though. I hear he's afraid I'll shoot him down from one of the windows when I see him. And he's right. I'll have a much bigger problem once his friends show up. There's no way I could handle all of them in a gunfight. I'm gonna lay low for as long as I can, assuming the town doesn't throw me to the wolves. I've got no chance against the gang on my own. We'd just end up sharing the same grave if it's just the two of us. Now, if some of the other people in town were also on board... Start with Sunny Smiles. She's been friendlier than most around here.
Hey. Hi there. Sticking around Good Springs for a while longer? Say no more. I'm in. Joe Cobb talks about leaving us alone if we hand over Ringo. But I know his type. He and his friends will come after the town eventually. However, between you, me, and Ringo, we aren't exactly a force to be reckoned with. A lot of people around here look up to Trudy. If you could convince Trudy to join us, some of the folks in town might decide to help out as well. I know Easy Pete's got a stock of dynamite somewhere, and Chet just got a shipment of leather armor we could borrow. Talk to them as well. Finally, there's a good chance we'll all end up with extra holes in us. So if Doc Mitchell could cough up some extra stim packs, that'd be great. I'll be waiting.
So you're planning on taking on Joe Cobb's gang. It's a big risk, but I suppose you have to do what you think is right. That does sound like a good plan. Alright, you seem to know what you're doing, so you can count me in. Let me have a word with a few other folks, and I'll see if I can't round up some more members for this militia you're creating. While everyone does own a gun, we could stand to be a little better equipped. The general store probably has what we need in stock. Be careful out there.
Hey!
You must be the one Doc Mitchell was patching up. The way I heard it, I didn't think you'd be walking out of that office. I've got plenty of supplies for sale. Even got some weapon mods and special ammo. Well worth the caps if you ask me. If you're hurting for caps, I've also got boxes of surplus ammo in the miscellaneous section. They're not great, but you get what you pay for. Now just hold on. I never voted to take on the powder gangers. That's a 1,000-cap investment you're talking about. You made your point. I can provide people with some leather armor and extra ammo. Sure hope it's worth it. And I'll be guarding the store while all this is going on. I have to put my business first. You understand. Take it easy now.
Welcome back. I had hoped you wouldn't need to come see me again so soon. What can I do for you? Seems like wherever I go, it's always the same. Folks just never leave each other alone. Oh, I'm not much good in a fight with my bum leg. And my supplies are scarce, but I'll give you what I can spare. I ain't got much, but it'll do you more good out there than it will in here. Take what I got. You take care now.
So what's going on? Did Sonny agree to help us? Well, I guess that means we're ready to go. Unless you think there's something else you can do. All right, I'm ready. I hope.
Time to look alive. The Powder Gangers are here to play. They're getting set up in cover, but it might not go well unless we get out there soon. At least 6, Joe Cobb included. They look pretty mean. I'll be set up near the store. Let's hope that the gang doesn't manage to make it that far.
I owe you a huge favor for this. Here, these are technically Crimson Caravan funds, but I know they'll understand once I explain things. I'll stick around for a bit longer, but I'll be gone in a few days. If you ever visit New Vegas, look me up at the Crimson Caravan camp.